Now the son of Cyrus is Cambyses, and you're going to see his name under the Achaemenid dynasty rulers list I gave you. And you see the years that he rules, from 529 to 522. Now Cambyses wants to actualize his father's dream of subjugating Egypt. So Cambyses wants to basically carry out the conquest of Egypt. And in 525 BC, at the Battle of Pelusium, Egypt will fall under the Achaemenid dynasty of Persia. So you're now going to have Persian dynasties ruling over Egypt, albeit for a very brief time. I'm going to tell you that Cambyses is going to declare himself pharaoh. That's a traditional title for an Egyptian ruler. And it means that, like other pharaohs, he's going to declare himself to be a god, a deity. Yes? Now, Cambyses is going to pay homage to Egyptian deities. He's going to honor the local customs, and he will employ Egyptians as government officials. However, Cambyses is going to become somewhat bitter when he fails to expand his empire in Africa. He's going to fail to subdue Carthage, and Carthage is in modern-day Tunisia, located right outside of the city of Tunis. And he's going to fail to subjugate Nubia, which would be in the modern country of the Sudan, south of Egypt. And because he fails to subdue either one, before Nubia, would be Carthage. Now, the reason why he fails in both cases is he doesn't have the loyalty of some of his troops. In Carthage, he has a Carthaginian navy that refuses to attack their kinsmen. The reason why he fails in the Sudan, in Nubia, is because the army's provisions were poorly planned. Meaning, in effect, he didn't give them enough food along the way. And you don't have to take this down, but they were reduced to devouring their pack animals because they ran out of food. That's never a good sign if you're going to invade another country, is it? Now, Cambyses ends up dying in 522. We're not quite sure how. There are different explanations for it. According to Herodotus, and remember that Herodotus is receiving his information from Egyptian priests who are biased. According to Herodotus, Cambyses basically became deranged and offended the Egyptian priests. But others state he kicked his pregnant wife and sister to death in a rage, and he died from a self-inflicted wound. On his way to quelling a Persian revolt. So he basically became deranged. Some people believe that he basically, had offended the Egyptian priests. They killed him. Others believe he went nuts, kicked his pregnant wife's sister to death, and then he died from a self-inflicted wound on his way to basically quelling the Persian revolt. Now, Lawrence, you had a question or comment? Look at where it's located. Whenever you buy real estate, Lawrence, and you're asked what's important about real estate, it's say this. The Carthaginians had the best maritime capacity. They settled in what would, they basically had their origins in Phoenicia, which would be modern-day Lebanon. So because they had the best naval capacity, Persia was basically a land power, they had to rely on Carthage for all the naval maneuvers. And being that Carthage was on the water, they needed to have a naval capacity to get there. Otherwise, they're going to have to trek through barren desert or near barren desert. Okay? Yes?
It's not important because you were doing Cyrus, the like policies that were going on.
They don't want to attack their own kinsmen. Yeah. Out.
Why is this? What did you do?
Do you not have it on the sheet? Okay. Yeah. Cambyses.
Cambyses, when he captured Egypt and he employed those Egyptian government, was that just in Egypt or was that also?
Just in Egypt. Just in Egypt. No. Because in the event that you were to take anyone from a different region, make them head, or give them a governmental position in another culture, there would be a problem. In the event that you're doing record keeping and somebody basically understands Egyptian hieroglyphs, how are they going to understand the Avestan Persian language? Okay? So there's a problem there. It wouldn't be practical. Yes?
You said that the first reason was Cyrus who recorded that he became deranged and insulted the priest. Why would that cause him to die? Because the god, like that angered
That
God?
is sacrilege. In the event that you attack an Egyptian priest, you're attacking the representative of the gods. And being that Cambyses is still seen, even though he tries to portray himself as an Egyptian pharaoh, he's still seen as an outsider by a lot of people, including the priests. So for him to do something like that would be like spitting in church, or, basically urinating on somebody's grave or breaking a cross in half. It's an act of sacrilege.
The gods smote him for vengeance?
Exactly.
Okay. Not that they killed him.
Well, there was a belief that some killed him, some believed that the gods basically incited the priest to kill him. Okay? Sure. Now,